Deep in the northern wilderness of Montana, there is a forest that most people refuse to enter. The locals call it Dark Whisper Forest. During the day, it looks like any other forest: tall pine trees, narrow dirt paths, and the distant sound of birds echoing through the air. But once the sun begins to set, everything changes. The wind becomes colder, the shadows grow longer, and an eerie silence spreads through the trees. Even the animals seem to disappear, as if they know something terrible walks through those woods after dark. For more than 100 years, the people living near that forest have told the same story. A story about a woman who appears in the middle of the night. Some say she is a spirit. Others believe she is something far more ancient. The older people in town whisper that she is a Hoa from the world of the Jinn, a supernatural being that took residence in the forest centuries ago. And according to the legend, anyone who sees her never comes back. Most people dismissed the story as a myth. But there were a few strange incidents that kept the legend alive. Hunters had disappeared. Campers had vanished. And sometimes, deep inside the forest, abandoned cameras or backpacks were found, but never the people who owned them. Despite these stories, curiosity always finds its way into the human mind. And curiosity was exactly what brought Ethan Harper to Dark Whisper Forest. Ethan was a YouTuber known for exploring haunted locations. His channel had millions of followers who loved watching him investigate abandoned houses, haunted hotels, and mysterious forests. When Ethan first heard the story of Dark Whisper Forest, he immediately knew it would be perfect for his next video. His friends warned him not to go. The locals refused to guide him. But Ethan simply laughed. "Ghost stories make the best content," he said. One cold October night, Ethan packed his gear, his camera, microphone, flashlight, and drone, and drove toward the forest. By the time he arrived, the sky had already turned black. The moon hung low in the sky, partially hidden behind dark clouds. Ethan turned on his camera. "All right, guys," he said, adjusting the lens. "Tonight we're exploring one of the most mysterious forests in Montana. Locals claim a supernatural woman appears here after midnight." He smirked. "Let's find out if the legend is real." With that, he stepped into the forest. At first, everything seemed normal. The dirt path stretched ahead of him, illuminated by the beam of his flashlight. Tall trees surrounded him on every side, their branches swaying gently in the wind. But after about 10 minutes of walking, Ethan noticed something strange. The forest had gone completely silent. There were no insects. No birds. No distant animal calls. Just the sound of the wind. Ethan spoke quietly to the camera. "Do you guys hear that?" Nothing. He continued walking deeper into the forest. Then suddenly, he heard it. A faint metallic sound. Ching, ching, ching. Ethan froze. It sounded almost like anklets. He slowly turned around, shining his flashlight between the trees. Nothing. "Probably just the wind hitting branches," he muttered. But a few seconds later, the sound came again. This time, much closer. Ching, ching, ching. Ethan's smile slowly faded. "Okay, that's weird." He raised his camera and slowly scanned the forest. And then he saw something. Far between the trees. A figure. A woman standing completely still. She was wearing a long white dress that flowed gently in the wind. Her long black hair covered most of her face. Ethan stared at her through the camera. "Hello," he called out. The woman didn't answer. She simply stood there, watching him. Ethan took a few cautious steps closer. "Are you lost?" Slowly, very slowly. The woman lifted her head. And that was when Ethan saw her eyes. They were glowing. A deep, unnatural red. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. "What the?" The woman smiled. It was a slow, unsettling smile. Her voice was soft, almost whisper-like. "Why have you come here, human?" Ethan tried to laugh it off. "I'm just filming a video." The woman began walking toward him. Her anklets echoed through the silent forest. Ching, ching, ching. The wind suddenly grew stronger. Tree branches creaked loudly above them. "You should not have come here," she said. Ethan took a step back. His flashlight flickered. "Look, If this is some kind of prank. The light suddenly went out. Darkness swallowed the forest. Only the faint red glow of her eyes remained. Ethan's breathing grew faster. Then suddenly, he heard her voice right beside his ear. "You cannot leave now." Ethan spun around in panic. She was standing inches away from him. But now, she didn't look human anymore. Her skin had turned pale and cracked. Her smile stretched far wider than any normal human's could. Sharp teeth glistened in the darkness. Her eyes burned like fire. She laughed. A horrifying, echoing laugh that filled the forest. "For centuries I have waited," she said. "And every human who enters my forest becomes part of it." Ethan tried to run, but his legs refused to move. It felt like invisible hands were holding him in place. The camera slipped from his hands and fell to the ground. The recording continued. For a few seconds, the camera captured nothing but shaking trees and Ethan's terrified breathing. Then slowly, the woman stepped into the frame. She crouched down and stared directly into the lens. Her glowing red eyes filled the screen. She spoke in a calm whisper. "If you are watching this." She tilted her head slightly. "Then you are already too close." The video ended there. The next morning, search teams entered Dark Whisper Forest. They found Ethan's camera lying on the forest floor. But Ethan himself was never found. To this day, locals claim that if you enter Dark Whisper Forest after midnight, you might see a woman standing between the trees, wearing white, smiling. And if she looks at you, you will hear the sound of anklets in the darkness. Ching, ching, ching. And then, you will never leave the forest aga.